While the kids are making craft, you get to listen to me for a few minutes. Aren't you lucky? So let me take you back. 2012, 2013 academic year, I was doing something incredible. So during that year, along with 11 other people, I spent the year on a course where we studied the Bible. And we studied it from cover to cover. We read every verse. We learned from all of the different books within it. And we did that over the course of an academic year. It was an amazing, amazing experience. For me, it was a really foundational experience in my life. It was also that academic year that I was building a very lovely friendship with the future Mrs. Doggett. So it was a particularly good year. I enjoyed it a lot. It was most excellent. 2013 wedding bells and all that. But it was a good year. Part of that course that we did, towards the end of the course, as a group, we all jumped in a plane and headed off to Israel. And all of a sudden, these things that we're reading about in the pages of the Bible, we're seeing those very same landscapes in real life. A lot of them are relatively unchanged from what they would have looked like during the times of the stories that we're reading about. So the first few days we were in Jerusalem. And there's obviously a lot to see there. So we're at various historical sites, archaeological sites in and around Jerusalem. That was amazing. And then the second half of it, we went up to Galilee. And it was while we were in Galilee that someone had a really good idea. So they said to us as a group, why don't we all get up really early while it's still dark and watch the sun rise over the Sea of Galilee? Now that's a lovely idea. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I remember this particular time of life, I was just knackered all the time. So the idea of intentionally getting up earlier, quite a lot earlier than was necessary, sounded terrible. But everyone else seemed really keen. So I jumped on board and yeah, why not? Let's do that. So we set our alarms super early, got up while it was still dark. We staggered down to the shoreline. We found some comfy chairs. We pulled the chairs up and we're sitting there. So we got the Sea of Galilee lapping behind us, sitting in comfy chairs with the sand beneath our feet. And we waited and we waited, and eventually we saw the sun rising over the Sea of Galilee. It was a profound experience, watching the dawning of the sun in a location where Jesus himself would have seen the sun rise in that place 2,000 years ago many times. It was an amazing, amazing thing to have done. At Christmas, we often read from Isaiah chapter 9. So I'll read a couple of verses that you may well have heard lots of times. This is verse 2 of Isaiah chapter 9. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. A few verses later, verse 6 is perhaps even more famous, and it reads, For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. You know, this is not just a script that was written for lots of cute children across the world to perform nativities at this time of year. These are words said by a real person in a real time, in a real place. And the context in which the prophet Isaiah speaks these words more than 2,500 years ago is actually really dark. He's speaking these words to a people who are living in very real fear of invasion by the superpower of that day. They are at a time where politically, socially, spiritually, they're already in trouble, and there is the very real possibility that they're just going to be devastated in the years to come. It's a really worrying time for them. And Isaiah speaks into that a message of hope. He speaks into that there is a light that is going to dawn. And the beauty of that message is that 2,500 years ago, 2,500 years later, it still packs a punch. It still speaks to us today, 2,500 years later. Why? Because each and every one of us know what it is to experience darkness. It's part of the experience of being human. That we know what it is to know loss. We know what it is to experience pain. And we know what it is at times to feel hopeless. So the way people heard Isaiah's message all those years ago, we can still relate. We can still understand what it is to hear a message of hope being spoken in difficult circumstances. So for all of us, this Christmas season that we're in brings with it numerous promises of comfort. So 4 more sleeps, my children are not letting me forget it, 4 more sleeps, and the big day itself will arrive, and I'm sure for most that will inevitably involve the giving and receiving of gifts, and we look to the response of someone that we are giving a gift to and looking for that spark in their eye that confirms we did good, we chose well. And especially, but not exclusively, especially for the younger ones in many of our households, the receiving of gifts is a real highlight on the day, and they will be counting down to whatever it is that will be wrapped ready for them on that day, and that will be wonderful and very special. This is also the time of year where we grab our blankets and we put on the reruns of Elf and The Grinch and Home Alone and Die Hard, because it is a Christmas movie, and we watch them all over again, and we have those good times watching the Christmas movies. It's also the time of year where it is socially acceptable to eat excessively, to eat an unreasonable amount of food. That's fine. Do it every day for the next week or two. Anything goes at this time of year. And then it's also the time where we can anticipate being with people that we really love, and know that they really love us too. And we get to be with them and enjoy that special time with them. There's a lot to look forward to, and all those things are really good. And all those things will feature in the Doggett Family Christmas this year. Sometimes we can ask too much of those things. Sometimes we can look to them to be the dawning of the light that our hearts desire to see. Sometimes we can ask the temporal to answer the longings that nothing in this world can truly satisfy. But Isaiah's words that we've just read, they remind us that ultimately, if you're looking in the eyes of the recipient of that gift and you realize, swing and a miss, or you receive a gift yourself and you think, who can I re-gift this to? Or you watch Elf and it's just not quite as funny this year. Or maybe you eat so much that you really hurt and you think, I wish I hadn't gone quite that far. Or maybe the being together with loved ones isn't as plain sailing as it sometimes is. And it's okay. Because the words of Isaiah remind us that a light has dawned. But this message gets even better. This message gets better because we're not talking about a disembodied, ethereal, good vibes kind of light. This light is a person that we can know, a person that we can follow. Jesus says this in John chapter 8, verse 12. I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life. This Jesus, whose birth we celebrate every year at this time of year, who we put dolls in cribs for, this Jesus, he is the light of the world. It's this Jesus who is the hope for all of us. It's this Jesus who brings comfort to all of us. It's this Jesus that brings an abundance of joy. So if there is a an ache inside any of us looking ahead to January, thinking the day is going to come and we're going to have to face reality again. The festivities will be done for another year and everything else that January brings is coming. Well, then I've got a message of hope. I've got a message of good news. We're not relying on the turkey to be perfect. We're not relying on Home Alone to be hilarious and side-splitting. There is a light that has dawned. It's good news that if we are in need of a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an everlasting Father, a Prince of Peace, then a light has dawned. He's come. And he wants to know you. And he wants you to experience him. So whether you've heard something like that 1,000 times, or whether all of that's news to you, this is our opportunity to take a deep breath before the children come back, before Christmas and whatever the next 4, 5, 6, 7 days hold for you takes full force. There's an opportunity for us to take a deep breath and recognize that we're all invited to hear the waves lapping on the shore behind us, to feel the sand beneath our feet, and to look to the east to see light piercing the darkness, and to know that that light has a name, and his name is Jesus, and he has come. So I'm just going to finish with a prayer. If that resonates with you in any way whatsoever, then I would metaphorically invite you to open your heart up. And as I pray, let's ask that light to shine once more. And so, Jesus, light of the world, we thank you that you have come. That you have come to show us the way. That you have come that we might not live in darkness, but that we might see your light, that we might know you, that we might be able to follow you. We need a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an everlasting Father, a Prince of Peace. So Jesus, this Christmas time, I pray that you would once more afresh show us who you are. Show us the light that we can experience, that we would know you. Amen. So there we go.